Walter Overcordial, you're welcome indeed to another edition of the Irish at Home and Abroad. Now, just to remind you later on in the programme, we're crossing over once again to Manchester to join Martin Logan, who has some more great stories featuring the Irish community right across the UK. But first, we're off to Mount Falcon Hotel in Ballina, where the Moy Valley Catchment Trust hosted a seminar to make people more aware of the fishing, tourism and recreational opportunities on our waterways.
This evening here, Henry, we're hosting the Moy Trust Expo event. It's been co-promoted by Mayo County Council, who we're very grateful to, and what we're trying to do is get all the community groups and government agencies together in one room, talking, sharing ideas, and I suppose developing a roadmap forward on how we can enhance the Moy Valley. In conjunction with Mayo County Council, we will start accessing funding streams maybe from Europe, whereby we can start educating our youth, we can start rehabilitating our rivers, we can start opening up access to lakes and water bodies that I suppose have been probably neglected for a long period of time. And then as a result of that, we're hoping that people will have more respect for their water and for their natural heritage that exists here in Mayo.
The Moy Catchment Association was set up about 12 months ago, and it was a group of 20 salmon clubs on the River Moy came together with a view to a combined voice was going to be better than lone voices in terms of getting things done. So in the 12 months we've realised that the river isn't all about salmon anglers, it's about the community. And what we want to do tonight is get the community involved. We want people to see just what is out there in the community, how many groups we have, and coming together, bring those groups together, and that's basically what tonight's about.
My role really is to engage with local communities and all the agencies to try and bring them together to look at water quality. So we're not enforcement as such, we're trying to bring all the groups together to meet in the middle to look at issues around water and I suppose try and help the communities get engaged with that process. A lot of the angling clubs came together in the Moy Catchment and formed an association within the catchment, and we always felt as we should move towards a Rivers Trust, and a Rivers Trust is an overarching group that will look after the whole of the catchment within the Moy, and that includes all angling groups, all community groups, all the state agencies and everybody involved with the protection of our waterways.
The organising committee of the River Moy Trust approached us there a number of weeks ago, and they brought the whole concept to us in terms of trying to develop a trust, not only on the River Moy but just on the whole area, and we felt it was a great opportunity. You know, again, it's about getting the message out there, you know, what the area has to offer. It's about increased awareness, it's about looking at greater collaboration, so it's a real win-win for us. So we were excited when they came to us, and we were delighted to be here tonight to help them support this event. So yeah, I think you know, it's the first of many steps. It's the first inaugural meeting here this evening, so we're hoping that it'll act as a springboard to a lot of other, you know, to a number of initiatives going forward.
We want you to mingle, we want you to swap contact details, we want you to get to know each other. Maybe just drop by and have a chat with them, see what they're doing and see what the River Moy Trust will mean to them.
We're here because Mayo County Council have made significant investment in the proposed trust. A lot of the people who are involved in promoting it have a role within the council. And it's great to see all the stakeholders here. I think it's a fantastic opportunity to avail of significant European funding that's out there to invest in the Moy. I suppose the farmers, when you talk about the stakeholders, the farmers and the fishermen are prominent, and I suppose they've been the custodians of our environment for centuries. And I think it's a great opportunity now, to hand on the great asset that we have in the Moy to the next generation.
What we're going to do is we're going to try and inspire people, get them to put ideas down on paper, put them into a suggestion box, mingle, greet, exchange, network. So when you think of the public bodies that exist in Mayo today, a lot of them unfortunately don't see each other every day, they don't communicate, and sometimes it almost seems a bit alien, but that's the fact of the matter.
Michael, you're here in a dual capacity.
I am. I'm here really, I suppose, initially I was here as a representative of the Growing New Wales Tobacco Club. I'm the chairman of the club, but also here as a representative of Mayo County Council, as a councillor. But I'm here really because of what this means to our community, and water is a special thing and special for our communities, and I believe, and I'm a great believer in what this is all about. So I'm here to support it in whatever way I can.
And of course, it's very important from a tourism point of view and the whole Moy Valley region.
Oh, water and tourism and this clean water is what it's all about, and to be able to bring people to our community and to be able to say to them, this is where it's all about, and come here, you'll enjoy the water sports that we have, you'll be able to enjoy everything that is related to water, whether it's canoeing, diving, fishing, and all the sports that's related to that. And there's so many, as you see what's here tonight. There's such a vast, what we have in our community is second to none, and I think that we have some of the best that you can in the west of Ireland. So come on down to this area, and I promise you'll never forget it.
And how important are events like this now to promote the rivers and lakes here in this region?
Well, I think the west of Ireland, I think we've got some of the best rivers, we've got some of the best lakes in terms of fishing, and we need to get the message out there, and what we want to do is keep them pristine and actually build their stocks up, and we want to see more visitors coming to the area and to see what we have to offer.
Do you think that there's enough knowledge out there about our rivers and lakes?
I don't think there can ever be enough knowledge out there, and I think tonight's about increasing that knowledge. And I mean, one of the things we're doing as a trust is we're actually going to the schools, we're talking to the schools, and we think if we can talk to the young people, they can get the message out to the older people out there as well.
And where do you go from here now after tonight's event? What's next?
After tonight's event, what we want to do, this is all about, to say, communication, but after tonight's event we want to move towards full trust status. To do that we need to form a board. So one of the first things after this is looking to see how we form a board. We're going to ask people tonight if they're interested in actually coming on board, if they've got the skills and the knowledge. So Mayo County Council will be good enough to actually organise a workshop which is going to take place early next year, where we'll draw back lots of people. The people who have shown interest tonight, we're going to bring them back, and then we'll start off by forming the board, and then we'll move forward to look at what projects we do and how we gain full trust status, hopefully by the end of next year.
We would look at a model called integrated catchment management, where all the agencies would come together to look at how to protect it. No one agency can do it on their own, no one community can do it on their own, they all need to work together.
I suppose, you know, we wrote an article there about a year ago, and we classed, we put the question, when you think of Mayo's greatest resource, what is it? It's the Moy. It's the Moy Valley. We have the greatest salmon river, in Europe. We have two lakes, Lough Conn and Lough Cullen, that make up the Great Western Lakes. They would be regarded as the finest trout fishery in Europe. So we have this heritage here, we have these natural resources that we need to protect. Europe are out there and they're telling us to start protecting our natural resources, and heretofore, I suppose, the money hasn't filtered down to local communities. What we're about is engaging, getting a forum going, engaging with local communities, and as a result of that, bringing in investment into these areas, developing our tourism. Anyone that has an interest in, I suppose, in enhancing the Moy Valley, we want to talk to them and we want to get them around the table.
And I suppose more importantly, in the Ballina area, we're looking for opportunities to develop our area economically. The river is a fantastic asset. It's underdeveloped. It needs investment, and it's great that all the stakeholders are here to invest, to make that investment personally, because it's all about people. The money will follow, but if we get the people together and we're all involved, things can happen. you know, I think we're at a stage now where we realise that the environment is so important to us, and that actually there's an economic benefit to it if we look after it.
And tourism, of course, very important.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, it's amazing that you think of the River Moy as one of the most fantastic rivers in the world, yet we don't have a fishing school with, you know, on the Moy. And I'd love to see, you know, us looking at opportunities like we have an airport beside us there we could bring that flies into London, which is 10 million people, and that we could bring our product and bring what we have to offer. We just don't have fishing here, but we have a whole culture, a way of life, and if we can show them how we look after our environment, how we look after our young people and how we educate them, I think that's something to sell.
We've contacted all the community groups in the area, and what we're trying to do is get them to come forward. And as a result of hosting this expo here tonight, we're hoping that people will put their name in the hat to become involved with the new trust and possibly represent themselves on the committee.
Well done to everybody involved with the Moy Valley Catchment Trust, and we wish them the very best for the future. Now, if you're a Showband fan, don't go away, because coming up after the break, we're taking a little trip down memory lane. So we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Fáilte, you're very welcome back to part 2 of the programme. Well, I'm here in the Town Hall Theatre in Claremorris, where a Showband exhibition was held recently, and our good friend Michael Cummins went along to take a little trip down memory lane.
Well, here we are, Philip, in the Town Hall in Claremorris here in the west of Ireland, and you're very welcome down to this part of the country.
Thank you very much.
This is how many exhibitions of the Showband era?
To date, since 2014, I've done 20 exhibitions, mainly in the north, but I'm happy to come to the south now, because this is a great Showband county. Mayo, the Royal Blues, the Niagara, Sandy Kelly, Jack Guan. The names could go on.
Right. Well, of course, in Claremorris Town Hall here, this hall opened back in 1969, and on that night, the opening band was a band that were synonymous with this area in town, the Royal Blue Showband, fronted by Doc Carroll and previously Shea O'Hara. Both were co-leaders with the band, or co-front singers. But it was a massive night from all accounts. I wasn't here at the time, but it was. There are great memories and fond memories with the Showband era around here as well.
And one of the favourite songs was Old Man Trouble, a very popular song through the 60s, and Doc Carroll was recognised for that.
Yeah, actually, that song was the very first band song from the west of Ireland to ever hit #1 in the Irish charts.
Yes.
I think it was February 1966 or something like that.
And
Doc Carroll and Old Man Trouble, the Royal Blues.
It's a tribute to Louis Walsh, possibly, who was a promoter going around the county doing advertising, posters and all.
Well, that's actually right, because Louis was just down the road in Kilshama, and Pete Brown band, Pete lived across the street, Chapel Street there in Kilshama from them. So Louis got an interest in that. The Gill lads from the parish here, Frank and Vincent of the Blues, band, the Royal Blues, they had a pub in town in Claremorris, and Louis used to help out in the bar there and put up posters, and I suppose that's where it all started for him. Really.
It's similar to my experiences, where Enniskillen had the Skyrockers and Jig and the Gents, and I got to know the lads and got to hear their problems, and my late mother used to sew buttons and take up trousers, and you had to look well. You had to represent a professional band.
And have you had an interest in this band business since you can remember?
From an early age, very early age. And when I hear the saxophone, the music, you know, it really gets me. Just to enter a ballroom gets me going.
Right.
You know, it's a great interest of mine.
Yeah. And of course, up in the north there, and in the counties around you there, so many of the bands originated from that part of the world.
Tyrone is a fantastic area for a band, and of course Derry. And my exhibitions in those areas, the momentum and the questions, and have you got this band, the wood choppers, have you got the buckaroos, the plackermen? They could name 10 bands and they could tell who they were. It was encouraged, especially in Owengarry, to learn music. And this is what's brought such talent to Ireland.
Yes.
You know, really, it's admiration of the local bands is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you've put a lot of work into this massive collection. Obviously, like it's a real love affair with the show band era and the country music era, of course, because so many of the bands here and so many of the items in the memorabilia all relate to go back probably to the late 1950s, really.
Yes,
and right up to a lot of the country bands and the singers that are going today.
Yes.
As I said, a lot of them are the postcards that used to be handed out at the end of the dances, which any of us who went to dances know about them. There's probably a few of them thrown in many houses all over the country, in drawers and everything else. But you've also a lot of the magazines from that era, Spotlight and Entertainment News, some Castleblaney and all of those ones.
And Musical Gazette as well, going right back.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I used to write to the managers, and I would have seen the dresses in the Spotlight and Entertainment News, and the post was cheap that time, and if a manager like Andy Creighton in particular would have managed a couple of bands, he could send you a few photos, because it was also promoting the bands in the north that making a played. You know.
That's true. That's true. All right.
And a local promoter has given me the posters that's behind us here, and he would have danced and managed bands in my local area.
Right. There were of course other times when people, some of the visiting acts come in, Jim Reeves and all of those, and you have quite a bit of their memorabilia as well.
Yes, and I remember time he came in the Starlight in Clones in County Monaghan.
Right.
Yes, indeed, with his ukulele.
Holy stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And of course I remember Ray Langham was a great country band, really.
Hillbillies.
Yes, the Sheerans and all.
Yeah.
Kerry and the Trixtons. Oh, you could go. Gacklin Nairney is continuing that.
That's right. And of course the Royal Show Band, I mean, these are probably the daddies of the show band era in many people's minds. Brendan Boyer and the Royal from down in Waterford.
And the brass section, fantastic.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
See Dermot Hegarty in the Plainsman here.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Dermot celebrated 50 years there this year in the business as well.
Right.
From Longford, and you have another band there, of course, who were huge in down the west of Ireland, all over, but they were very, very big, I'm told, in Turin Hall. Now, I never got to see them.
Yes.
We're on about Shea Hutchinson and Jean and Eddie from Newton Stewart there, of the famous Melody Ace up your side of the country.
Yes, indeed, yes.
They were a fabulous band, I'm told.
Yeah,
Loads and loads of great memories there. I see Margot's here as well, and Margot and the Blue Ridge Boys and other bands, and you could spend hours here, Philip, at this wall of fame.
Yeah,
and
we have Ray Langham here,
great
still
band.
going strong.
Yeah,
lovely
fabulous
singer.
band, the Ray Lyons band. Sean Dunphy, the late Sean Dunphy, was
Indeed,
there.
yes. Who represented Ireland in the Eurovision.
Indeed,
if I could choose. And the late Joe Dogan.
Joe and the Drifters.
Joe Dogan, such a young photograph with guitar.
Yeah.
You know, very, very nice.
Yeah, the man from Mullingar.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You enjoy, obviously, this. This is a complete passion for you to
very
do this.
Very much so. Oh yeah, I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy talking to people like yourself who was promoting it as well, which that's very important. It should not be forgot because it's a history.
It is a history.
Yeah. And it's great to get encouragement from people along the way, you know, and people come along to the shows and would have photographs which they would give you as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And do you have plans for 2018 to present this exhibition?
Oh yes, I hope to continue it. Yes, indeed. Yes. I hope maybe to get another venue in Mayo, and maybe head down to Galway. If the doors are open, I'll be there.
Or even further south and east or wherever.
Yes, indeed. I definitely would go.
Well, it's an absolutely superb collection, and I know people who might just come in here for a few minutes to look around the place, and you could be here definitely an hour or two later, easily. going through, because it draws you in, doesn't it?
Yes, big Tom said in Glencairn you could spend the day here.
Aye. Yeah, Tom went to visit you in the Glencairn.
Yes,
Yeah.
Tom and Margot come.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good.
So, Philip, it's absolutely lovely to meet you on your trip down to the west of Ireland, and I hope you take back a lot of fond memories from this visit.
Yes, the Mayo people have looked after me here today, I can say that. I'm very happy to say that.
Great stuff.
Thank you,
Philip.
Michael.
Great to have you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, man. Okay. Thank you, Philip.
Well, our thanks to Michael Commons and Philip Darcy, indeed, for his wonderful collection of Showband nostalgia. And what better way to finish the programme than some original footage of a band from here performing in the Town Hall in its heydays with a #1 hit they had at the time, Doc Carroll and the Royal Blues with Old Man Trouble. Now, don't forget, coming up after the break, we're crossing over to Manchester to join Martin Logan, and I look forward to your company next week at the same time. So until then, IHA agus G'day Shiv Slán.
I can tell it's you by the way you talk. So my girl, go still up. You just wasting your time, 'cause you ain't no better spot. Trouble going from my door. Look! Hey, don't you never come back no more. One more time. Summer, old man summer, yay! Who's that knocking on my door? Old man summer. I know you've been here before. Old man summer. You called my girl, can't leave home. Old man summer. She left me sitting here all alone. I can tell it's you by the way you walk.